All right, Josh, I think we're on.
All right.
Yes. Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Queenie. As promised, I am here today chatting with my man. Look, one after my own heart, urban black vegan, Joshua Black himself out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Joshua.
What's up? What's up? Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I've been looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah.
So, yes, let's get this thing
Yeah,
going.
yeah. Me too. So look, as I shared with you before, I am vegan as well, right? And I
Great.
always wanted to get together with some of my fellow vegans and just chat it up about our journey, what we do, why we do it, how we feel about life.
hmm hmm
Because veganism is a huge entire lifestyle. It's I
Right.
call it the vegan lifestyle effect. It's an entire lifestyle, and I'm always questioned about being a vegan. Well, here you
Yes.
are, the urban black vegan, and I want to
Yes.
talk to
Yes.
you about it.
Yes. Yes. Let's do it. Yes.
So tell me,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was gonna ask you, just go ahead, tell me, why did you turn to the vegan lifestyle? Because that is the biggest question I get. Like, why are you vegan? That's always the question.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. Yeah, it's real simple. This is I'm going on year nine. It'll be 9 years, and July 4th will be year number nine. 9 years completed.
Mhm.
But the way I got started is very simple. I didn't even start out like with the goal to be vegan. Like,
Mhm.
now it's really trendy. People want to know, well, how can I be vegan? That wasn't even a question for me at the time. My whole thing was I was dealing with some health issues,
Mhm.
mental and physical, because I like this, and it was weight. I was overweight,
Okay.
and so I was carrying the physical weight and the mental weight.
Mm.
I like to say that when you're dealing with weight, is you're dealing with weight in two ways. It's the mental and the physical. So I was dealing with those issues, and I had diabetes, all kind of health issues, and I just got really tired of this lifestyle of living that way.
Mhm.
And one that evening, July 4th, 2011, I'll never forget. I was looking at a documentary. Somehow, I came across this documentary, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, and I
Ah,
watched this documentary. I was literally in tears because
mhm.
reflected on the monitor was me. It was a guy around the same age. He was overweight. He had all these pills and medication. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is me.
Mhm.
And he got sick and tired of it. So he documented his journey. He
Mhm.
did nothing but eat fresh fruit. No, no, veggies. That's it.
Okay.
He didn't,
Okay.
and he just blended them and juiced them, and that's it.
Mhm.
He lost all this weight. All the problems went away, and
Mhm.
something mystical that evening came and touched me, touched the way I thought about it. And soon you
Mhm.
see myself, I got up, went in front of this full length mirror. I looked at myself, and for the first time, I took my shirt off and looked in the mirror and stood there and looked at myself. And I said,
Wow.
and I was bawling, just crying. I said, this is it. I will never be this person again. This is it.
Yeah.
And then I went on my journey for the next 40 days. I did nothing but juice. No, I did nothing but did like veggie smoothies. That's it.
Mhm.
I lost like 20, 25 pounds, and I've never looked back. Then I went on to start exercising and doing so many things, got off the diet, kicked the diabetes, got off the medication, and then I
Wow.
was off to the races. And then
Yeah.
a couple of years after that, that's when Urban Black Vegan came about, because I couldn't find anybody that looked like me,
Yeah.
keep me motivated and inspired. And I wanted to use, I purposely use Urban Black Vegan because I said, if there's someone who's Black, lives in the urban community, who gets online
Mhm.
trying to find help and puts in urban, Black, and vegan, I want them to see themselves in me,
Right.
because I
Mhm.
am that person living in an inner city, the only vegan person in my family. So at that time, I wasn't vegan. I was just being healthy. I
Yeah.
found out that what I'm doing is this vegan lifestyle. So I always say that I didn't I didn't go out to be vegan. Veganism
Mhm.
found me. I didn't go searching for it. It found me. And here we are, this happy marriage about going on 9 years strong.
Okay, okay, okay. So, oh my God, you know what? I shared with you before a little bit of my story. It was very similar as
Hmm.
to what I wanted to do. I wanted to just have a healthier lifestyle. Before I became vegan, I was a runner. I was running. I was probably a lot thinner than I am now. But
Hmm.
I was unhealthy, even though I looked healthy. If thin looks healthy, I
Hmm.
was unhealthy. I wasn't feeding my body any nutrients or anything like that. I was depleted of so many things. Veganism brought me to be able to truly fill my body with the nutrients and the minerals and the good food that I know I needed to put in. So I have to ask you, when you said
Sure.
that you were overweight and you had been
Yes.
diagnosed with diabetes, um
Yes.
how much weight are we talking? Like what are we saying when you because I don't know how tall you are, and someone may see this and they're probably trying to figure out, like, well, he's mighty
Right.
slim. I mean, what is overweight to him, right?
Right. Right. Okay. Well, I'm 6'2".
Okay.
I'm 6'2", and at the time I weighed about 260 pounds.
Okay.
Now, here's the whole thing in the Black community, we kind of embrace being overweight.
You better talk about it. We
We
sure do.
embrace that, you know, you know, the whole
Yeah.
thick, big bone, husky,
Yeah.
thicklish, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not here. I wasn't for it,
Yeah.
So I lost. I came all the way down to my best last year was
Mhm.
my absolute hit my goal weight. It was 100, and I want to be this 100 and like 85,
Mhm.
185. I think I'm probably closer to 190 something now.
Okay.
I don't want to be 200. I don't want to be 200 anything. And this is it's a mental thing because
Wow.
we can get into that. That's a whole issue as far as the mental weight that you carry when you're overweight,
Yeah.
and you're not, you love yourself but you don't like yourself,
Yeah.
that whole thing. And yeah, that's a whole thing for me.
Joshua, I get it. I was 304. 304 when I got ready to
Oh.
have my son. That's the first time I've ever said that live. A lot of my friends that know me back from North Carolina, they remember. My ex-husband remembers. I was 304 when I got ready to have my son. 304. I never forget getting on the scale. That was my weight. And I chose, like you, to take myself into a healthy lifestyle space. And at the
Mm-hmm.
time, it wasn't veganism. It was cut out the fried food, cut out the pastas, cut out this, cut out that,
Yes.
cut out,
Yes.
going to restaurants, cook my food. And I that was really what I wanted to do. I was predisposed to diabetes, hypertension, all these other things because of my family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But then I have this little boy that just came into my life. And I was just like, there's no way I can be, I can like fall into the trap that my family had fallen into. When I got a kid that I'm bringing into this world, I was always athletic, but still
Right.
I was battling with weight. And so much like you, I just, I stood in that mirror and I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I started running and working out and
Mm-hmm.
focusing on, not eating two pieces of fried chicken, taking all the skin off the chicken. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
did all of that just searching for myself. And after about 100 pounds down, I was like, oh, this is easy. I got this because I enjoyed the freedom, and I enjoyed the life.
Right.
I enjoyed not
Right.
having to wait. And the mental weight that you speak about, I lost it. I lost the mental weight. And I remember God, I love my sister to death, but I remember at one of the family functions, like you said, we tend to romanticize with thickness and this and that and the
Oh,
other.
absolutely. We embrace it.
Yeah, we embrace it. Well, guess what? I remember her saying at one of the functions, she said, "Oh, she's just on this health kick right now," and I was thinking, really, you think this is a kick? So here it is. 23 years, like 22, 23 years later, I'm still kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
and now I kick it
Okay.
into overdrive with straight veganism. So I'm like you, like I'm the only one in the family that's vegan.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. So whenever you were able to come off of or to decrease your medication, your numbers and things like that, how did that make you feel inside? Like knowing that you're seeing these changes actually take place in front of your eyes?
Oh, it was. I tell you, sometimes I sometimes just talking about it, I get a little choked up because I can vividly remember the day to day feeling.
Mm.
I remember, and it's the little things. See, when you're dealing with um, issues of weight, the mental and the physical weight, it's the tiny little things. Okay, so I'm like 6'2". I was like a size 40 waist or something like that. Sometimes
Yeah.
42. When I was able to get into a size 32 jeans,
Yeah.
that was such a major thing for me. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't get it. It was a major thing. Not only the physical putting the pants on, the jeans
Yeah.
on, but just the fact that knowing the sense of accomplishment, the
Mm-hmm.
sense that I can do this. It
Yeah.
was so overwhelming, and even till this day,
Yeah.
it continues to motivate me
Mm-hmm.
to help others, to get
Yeah.
the word out, to be that living, walking example, to hopefully help to bring change to my community. Because that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
As I've grown in this space of living this particular lifestyle, now I understand that health
Mm-hmm.
is not only what you eat, it's how you live, where you live, and the people you live amongst. So I believe veganism is nothing but health, healthy community,
Yeah.
healthy state of mind.
Mhm.
It's also in physical health, environmental health. It's all about health, and it's also about being kind and
Mhm.
vigilant toward um, uh, um, helping others. When
Yeah.
I say others, I'm
Mm.
talking about all living everything,
Yes.
animals, people, community. It's all
Mhm.
about the health of all those things. And if I can work to better the health of my community, the health of my family, my friends, and it would only make life that much better for me. If my
Yeah.
community is healthy,
Yes.
I get to live in a community that's healthy, a community that's not dealing with obesity and all these chronic illnesses. And,
Mhm.
so the goal this here whole vegan lifestyle has become so much bigger than what's on my plate. And I always use the term think outside the plate.
Mhm.
Being
Oh, I
vegan
like that.
means
Think
that I
outside the plate.
challenge other vegans to think outside of the plate,
Mm.
and that's why I do a live and different things, and I try not to focus on the food
Mhm.
because the whole idea of veganism is all just about the food. It's one part of it, but it's not the entirety of what this is all about.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, you know what? I totally agree with you. It's holistic. It really is
Hmm.
holistic. And I do wish that more of our community, people that look like you and I, minority communities, could adopt the vegan lifestyle as a whole, right? Or even just a healthier lifestyle as a whole. Because I know some pretty healthy vegetarians. I know some pretty healthy, everyone else. And I'm not, I'm for me, veganism was a lifestyle change for me. But I look at people in a different, just a different mindset. And I always say, if you could just experience maybe even the vegan lifestyle, it would introduce you to a different way of living, a holistic way of living, a more balanced way of living. And it may not be something you want to do permanently, but there's something about introducing it into your life. It brings a different sensation to your just your being, a different balance to your being. I don't want to continue to kill animals just for my own pleasures
Oh,
and
sure.
eating. You know what I'm saying? And that's me. But the lifestyle for our community would advance us so much as a people. You know what I mean? So I totally agree with you whenever you speak that. And I guess that's probably like your mission right now with this
Oh,
urban.
that is my mission.
Yeah,
That's my mission, and I do the food thing, of course. I mean,
yeah,
I do that in my community. I like to call myself also a culinary activist, whereas though I'm in the
yeah,
community showing and sharing tips and techniques and
yeah,
information and knowledge about how to eat, because that's one thing that that's the common denominator that
yeah.
all human beings have, is that we must eat. That's
Yes.
the one common denominator. And
Yes.
then the thing is that within the Black community, which is where I focus on
Mhm.
primarily, um, most people, if not all Black people, if they're not dealing with a chronic illness, they have a
Mhm.
friend or family member who is
Mhm.
dealing with a chronic illness.
Mhm.
Most of us can relate to things like diabetes or quote unquote the sugar or what have you.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all have some type of relationship with it, if it's like
Mhm.
intimate or if it's distant, but there is a relationship that most of us have. So I try to touch on, and being that I come from a space like that of carrying the weight and the diabetes, and I can talk to the drugs that you have to take and
Yeah. Oh, I see that he's having a little bit of difficulty. Okay, there we go. We're
I'm
back
back.
on again. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So people usually listen. So it's been very interesting when going out and trying to touch people in
Yeah.
this way with the information via food.
Yeah. So let's just go back a little bit then, Joshua. I want to talk
Hmm.
a little bit more about like I said, the vegan lifestyle effect, I
Sure.
know that it was more of a holistic space for me, and it's been a holistic journey for me. And I've been vegan for quite some time as well. But share with us your thoughts, on the connection between our relationships with food and our relationships with others, or even how we move in life.
Sure, sure, sure. It's interesting because I think, and I love having conversation. I love people who ask me questions.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from where do you get your protein from
Oh God, that question. Oh, oh.
and the reason I love it is that because I it gives me an opportunity, like I'm not out here preaching, but if you knock on my door, I'm going to answer. If I'm not going to beat you over the head for it, over the head, but if you knock, be prepared for the answer.
Yeah.
Be prepared for the answer. And sometimes, and I don't mind having conversations that make people a little uncomfortable
Yes.
with their own decision, or make them start to think about the decisions that they are
Mhm.
making.
Mhm.
I went to this one event. It was a oh okay, what is it called? It is the Daniel Fast. We
Okay.
have a huge church here in
Yeah.
Philadelphia called
Yeah.
it's called Enon, which is a big mega church, a black
Uh-huh.
church, thousands
Mhm.
of members. So they all do this Daniel Fast.
Yes.
Now, many times I've asked them, I said, would you like for me to come and speak? And I can help free for some tips and try to help people out through, I
Yeah.
forget how many days they do it. But I went, they never asked me to share, but that's okay. But I went because they kind of hold these open sessions where they try to answer people's questions. So
Mhm.
my question was like, I truly don't understand this is if the Daniel fast, if this is a way to bring you
Mhm.
closer by eliminating certain things, if
Mhm.
that brings you closer, when you stop the Daniel fast, does that mean you get further away? And if that's what brings you closer, why don't you just stay in that state?
Why don't you
Why don't
say?
you stay there? If
Mhm.
giving up the meat and all this other stuff gets you closer, isn't that the ultimate goal?
Right.
If for nothing else, just to
Mhm.
get closer to your God,
Yeah.
why not live that way every day?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I,
Yeah.
it, and I asked several of the people attending. No one had an answer.
No. No.
Nobody has an answer for that.
Yeah.
But I think these are conversations that we have to have. And let's be real. Let's stop playing this thing, playing this game of life, and
Yeah.
let's start really living this game of life. Let's ask the hard questions. But these are things that people don't want to talk about. They
Yeah.
just it's like the elephant in the room. They
Yeah.
don't I don't want to talk about that. The
No.
other question, when people ask me, well, Josh, how do you ever I get this all the time at barbecues or what have you. Do you
Mhm.
ever miss chicken?
Yeah. Of
So my
course.
response, or meat or something like, I said, well, I never miss putting a bird in my mouth. I never, I, it has never. kind of like came over me to like, Josh, don't you want to put a bird in your mouth? Josh, don't you want to put a cow in your mouth? Don't you want to put an animal in your mouth? I cannot wrap my head around now
Yeah.
putting animals in my. The response always is, man, why you have to say it like that? What? What? Am I wrong?
Right.
That's what it is, right? I always tell if we can change the way we think, maybe
Uh,
we will think differently.
yeah. We
You
would
know,
behave
just change.
differently.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah. We
Right,
behave differently. Yes.
right.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We will
You know,
exactly, and it's our thinking. It's our thinking that leads the way.
it's
I'm
our
not a
thinking.
Bible person, but when I speak to churches and whatnot, I try to touch on things that they can relate to, and I always
Mhm.
tell them, as a man, out of the Bible, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if I think a certain way, isn't that going to help lead the way for me? Like,
Yeah.
so if I think that that's an animal, is dead, I don't want to put it in my mouth. Period. No desire.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
No
So
desire.
so let's talk about so less about the food because we, like
Sure.
I said, I mean it is what it is, right? Like we choose not to engage or indulge in animal cruelty or eating
Right.
animal products, right?
Sure. Hmm.
And yes, I've gotten a question at the barbecue. And I will tell you one other thing, Josh. I take my own food to the barbecue sometimes. I will take my own food to the barbecue. Because people will look at you awkwardly trying to force you to eat some greens that they pulled the meat out of and put it on your plate. There
Mm.
you go. There's no meat in it. I'm like, but you always cook your greens with pork,
Mm.
I just bring my,
Right.
you know,
Right.
or I make sure I bring a dish that I'm going to eat that's going to be animal free, right? So tell me more, like whenever you discovered that this lifestyle was working for you, and I'm sure, were you exercising? Did you get the whole family involved? How did that look for you? 9 years ago, or let's just say 7 years
Sure.
ago, once you had kind of gotten to a space where you pretty much had this managed. How did you then, with your workouts and with your family, how'd you incorporate all of that and find a balance for everyone? Because I know it can be challenging when you have a family and you go on this totally different journey with your lifestyle.
Right, right. See, the thing with me is that the journey for me, it started in my head first. So it
Okay.
wasn't a physical thing. Like I said, I started by being inspired by this information, by this documentary,
Hmm.
that it kind of sunk in. It
Yeah.
wasn't like one day I woke up and said, "Oh, I'm going to be vegan. Let me go clean my refrigerator."
Right.
Before any of that, it was my thinking that was affected.
Yeah.
From what
Mm.
I understand, a lot of people when they ask me, Josh, oh, Josh, I want to be vegan. I get this all the time. I want to be. What's the first thing I should do? I said, well, I'm not going to tell you to go clean your refrigerator. I'm
Hmm.
not going to do any of that. You have to figure out your why. Why are you going to do this? You have to detox, not a physical detox, but
Yeah.
a mental detox.
Yeah.
You've been brainwashed, washed. Just like you eat toxic foods, you have this toxic thinking
Yeah.
around food that needs to be detoxed. You
Wow.
need to detox your thinking. You need to flush your thinking. It's
Wow.
all in your head. Once you can get that stuff out of your head, you will start to, and that's why people always talk about, oh, I'm vegan now. Things seem so much clearer. Yes, because you detox your
Yes.
thinking.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what it is. That's why I always tell people to make sure you detox daily. They say, oh,
Mhm.
daily? Yes, you're thinking. The
Yes.
crap that you take in every day, if
Every
you
day.
don't do something to get it out,
Mhm.
it's going to start to fester. It's going to
Mhm.
start to take root, and then you find yourself eating a piece of chicken because of
Or some, yes.
all the messaging you've been absorbing, all that toxic
Yes.
messaging, riding past Chick-fil-A and seeing these huge lines. This is all toxic that's
Yeah.
getting into your head. If
Mhm.
you don't do something to flush that out, it's going to start to build. It's going to start to overwhelm you. You're going to have so-called weak moments, do
Mhm.
so-called cheat days, and say stuff like I'm a flexitarian or I'm 90%
Yeah.
vegan. No, it's your thinking is not where it needs to be. Your appetite
Mhm.
is still bigger than the way you think.
Yeah.
You have to get to the point where your thinking is bigger than your appetite. Your beliefs, that's what I
I
say. Your
believe.
beliefs are
Yeah.
bigger than your appetite. But
Mhm.
what if you're still 90% vegan, or I'm vegan on the weekends, or I'm vegan when I'm home? That's because your beliefs are still not up there with your appetite. Your
Yeah.
appetite is still winning the day.
Mhm. Isn't that life though? Isn't that how life is? Like you're speaking so much and my viewers, they're not used to hearing me on Bar Talks talk about food, but they are
Mm,
used to hearing me on Vegan Girl with Curse talk about food. So both audiences are tuning in tonight. But it's that's a life lesson, right? Regardless of where you are in life, it's that thinking that we have to change
absolutely.
before any kind of action can take place. We have to have a
But
made
that's
up mind.
yes. That's why this vegan
Yeah.
thing, yes. And see, people kind of connect vegan with the food, but it's a lifestyle, and the lifestyle affects
Lifestyle.
every area of your life.
Yes,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
every area of your life
Mhm,
can is affected by the lifestyle that you lead.
mhm.
So that's
Yeah,
why we have to get off of the food. We have to, and even though we're talking about veganism, we're talking about a lifestyle
yeah.
that
Mhm,
affects different areas of your
mhm,
life.
mhm.
If you let it,
So
if you live it truly.
yeah. So I want to take a second. One of our viewers, he left a message. I just actually conducted an interview with Mr. Pat King, and he tuned in tonight, and he shared his story with us. It was so amazing, his journey, his lifestyle, all those things. But he tuned in tonight, and he said we need change when it comes to food in our communities. More awareness, more teaching, more coaching, legislation for what food is being pumped into our communities, and he said, "Love what you're doing."
Okay,
Yeah,
very
so I
nice.
thought that was
Good,
really
good,
nice.
good,
I
good,
wanted to make
good,
sure I
good.
read that to you because people, there are a lot of us that can relate to what you're talking about. My mission as well. And I hope those that are viewing that have ever thought about, well, maybe I should, because a lot of people don't know what to eat if they go vegan. Um,
Hmm.
because again, they're starting with what am I going to eat? That's what they want to know about. It's not anything. It's not about, oh, I'm going to be zenning. It's none of that. They're like, yeah, but what can I eat? So I hope that some of those that are tuning in or listening, they
Sure.
hear this energy that we're putting out and understand it's bigger than just the food, because the food is there. The food is there. That's not a
Oh,
problem. I've
absolutely.
never gone hungry since I've been a vegan. Never gone hungry.
Oh, absolutely. There's more than enough food. There's
Yeah.
foods that I haven't even tasted. Being on this here whole vegan plant-based journey has taken me to different cultures and different flavors, and and I haven't even 9 years in, and I haven't even really got into it because there's so much to
Yeah.
discover. There's
Yeah.
so much to discover. It's been fun.
Yeah, yeah, it has definitely been fun. So tell me, just quickly tell me, like in a day, what is your typical routine as
Hmm.
far as the food that you do eat? Do you food prep?
Sure.
What do you normally do a typical day?
Okay, a typical day. Now here's the thing. I'm really into. I don't do raw vegan.
Hmm.
I don't do that so much, but I'm really into this lifestyle. So I fast every day. So
Yeah.
fasting, I'm doing a what's that? 16/8. So eight
Okay.
hour window of nourishment,
Hmm.
and then 16 hours with no food,
Okay.
And that's just my everyday,
Yeah.
that's the everyday thing that I do.
Hmm.
So throughout the day, let's see, if I'll probably do a smoothie or two,
Okay.
or but see, you know what? I don't consume a lot of food.
Yeah.
That's because the foods that I'm eating are so um I do a high fiber, a fiber rich diet,
Okay.
meaning I'm always eating something that has a lot of fiber. And when
Yeah.
you eat a lot of fiber, that fills you up to the
Yeah.
point where you can't really, it's hard to eat a lot of food. Like I don't cook with oil. I don't use oil.
Okay.
I'm I'm like whole food, plant based, no oil. So
No
there's no
oil.
fried foods. There's no
Yeah.
French fries.
Yeah.
I don't buy oil or anything like that. So for me, like today, it will probably be chickpeas with some I don't know, maybe some tofu or some make some cashew dip or
Hmm.
something. I mean, because I don't even know, and I don't even like to pre-plan. I like to figure out like, oh, what do I want today? Oh, maybe I'll do an avocado. Maybe I'll do a salad. I grow my own veggies, so
Nice.
maybe I'll do some collard greens, or maybe I'll do some dinosaur kale. But
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to. That's why I don't prep
Yes.
because I like the adventure of like, what am I going to eat? Because there's so much.
Hmm.
There's so much.
Yeah. Yeah. So I totally understand that. I am not I've not gotten there yet where I don't use any oil. I
Hmm.
am trying to get off of the oil because I love to cook. So I have a brand,
Right.
Vegan Girl with Curves, and I'm always cooking all types of things. And I like you, I'm not a raw foodie, but I know how to prepare raw dishes and
Right.
enjoy them throughout the day, right? But I just invested in an air fryer, so because
Awesome.
I am trying to get
Awesome.
away from the oil, and I'm like, I can do wet batter. I can do all these other things in the air fryer, and I don't need to use my oil. So yeah, I'm trying to get there, right? But I have collards in the fridge, and sometimes I'll eat them raw. Sometimes I'll saute them up. I mean, there's so
Sure.
many things we can do that people
Oh yeah.
would never even imagine, and it's delicious. That's like it's delicious. So
Oh, absolutely.
do you prepare smoothies now? Do you juice now? 'Cause I'm sure a lot of people may want to
I
know.
don't juice.
You
I
don't
don't
juice?
juice at all.
Okay.
No, no
So
juice.
you make
I am like
smoothies at
seriously
all?
into fiber.
Okay.
I'm seriously into fiber. And
Okay.
my and remember I said, I believe in doing daily detox. And
Hmm.
this like a daily thinking
Yeah.
detox. So I'm always researching, trying to understand, reading, listening to lectures because I got to do this daily detox to
Yeah.
make sure that I don't take in a bunch of toxic information, and
Yeah.
also so I can share with other people because I do talks and I do demos and I do all that. I want to be able to make sure I share with people. So I don't juice because that strips out all the fiber,
Hmm.
and I need to make sure I have a high fiber
Yeah.
diet
Right.
because the thing that we're lacking in most is fiber, and I just want to make sure that I don't have any problems that way. I want to make sure I have high fiber, moderate protein,
Hmm.
moderate fat.
Hmm.
That's the way I roll.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So now let me ask you this other question. Did you get your
Sure.
family involved? I know I mentioned that earlier. So did you get your family involved
Yes.
on the, and are they
Yes.
also vegan or plant-based as well?
No, it's a very interesting dynamic, especially with this whole COVID thing. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
my daughter and my wife, my daughter and my wife, more so my daughter.
Hmm.
Uh, Now I've been doing this for 9 years. I live my lifestyle out loud.
Yes.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Even here in the house, everyone knows. So one day, the beginning of this year, my daughter said, "Dad, that's it for me with the whole chicken thing." I was
Oh.
like, "What?
Wow.
That's it?" She's not. She's doing the vegetarian thing, so she still does some
Mhm.
cheese,
Mhm.
and I can understand. Cheese was my last hurdle as well.
Yeah.
Some cheese, and she might do, and she doesn't drink regular milk and just cheese.
Mhm.
Cheese is still a thing, right?
Yeah.
So with that, and then my wife kind of followed. Now they're both doing it. Now they've had a lapse here or there, you
Mhm.
know, but for the most part, they're doing great.
Yeah.
Now the problem is because I don't do any processed vegan food. Like I don't do any of it. No incredible whatever those things, the Frankenstein burgers. I
Yeah.
don't do any
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
I did that phase. I went through it,
Yeah.
but I crossed that bridge and here I am. So I don't do anything. When I say whole food plant based, I'm serious. Whole food plant
Mhm.
based.
Mhm.
Um, but they're transitioning. So that stuff is in the house
Of
now.
course.
Like
And
tofu
then
burgers and
listen, not
chicken
to
nuggets.
hey,
And I
hey,
don't even do I don't even do vegan butter. I don't do any of that stuff.
hey, Josh, not to say
Right?
any names, but there are a lot of videos out here with some really fantabulous cooks that do
Yes.
promote a lot of processed foods. In the
Oh, you don't even want me to get on that
yeah,
rant
but
because
but you know, I'm not gonna say any names, and I do love them dearly. They have great TV personalities and YouTube personalities. But the truth of the matter is, some of those foods should
not
not be
some of them.
consumed excessively. I
No, that's
so
and I don't. You know what? People can call themselves what they want, but
yeah,
I don't see that. I don't know how vegan that is. When you're if you're taking on this lifestyle,
yeah,
you one and then you kind of get behind a microphone or a video camera to help others. Let's be truthful and be honest. Just tell people this is not healthy at all. And to me, that goes against what veganism is, like being mindful and careful and not trying to do harm to self or others.
yeah,
Now, you know, by eating some of these foods, that's why we have some vegans who are overweight or what have you.
yeah,
And there's a couple that come to mind, and like you, I'm not going to mention,
right,
but as a person who's kind of advocating for a lifestyle, and you're
yeah,
advocating for a lifestyle that's like unhealthy,
right,
I can't rock with them because of
yeah,
that. And I call it I call it vegan porn food.
yeah.
Porn is like vegan porn.
Hmm.
Like, oh my God, it looks so good. Yeah, if you fry anything
It's
in a
going
tub
good.
of oil, it's going to taste good.
Yeah,
I don't eat it. But I'm not going to say it's not good. It's not good for
yeah,
you. But
yeah,
you can put anything in oil. And I know, remember when it was the cauliflower craze? Everyone's dipping cauliflower and
yeah.
dropping into oil and calling it chicken.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, but that's not healthy. Yeah,
Yeah,
you didn't kill an
you know,
animal.
I make it, and it is so not healthy. I make it, and I tell people it is. This thing is so good, but it is not healthy. So I'm going to use the air fryer
Air
for it.
fryer, which
Yeah,
you can, and there's ways
yeah,
to do that. I'm glad that you're getting that air
yeah,
fryer, but I think we have a responsibility as Black vegans to try to help, and we're going to get have the nerve to get on in front of the camera. Let's be helpful. We're not helping our community just because someone wants to be trendy and call themselves vegan and eat
right,
as unhealthy as possible.
yeah,
I don't watch them. I don't co-sign. I can't even say I love them. I no, it's not right.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not right, and I'm pretty hardcore with that.
No, I totally understand that. I sometimes cringe when people tag me in certain videos and say, "Hey, Queenie, have you tried this?" Um, and because I do cook and I show people how, like you said, make the transition. Some of us can't go cold turkey. It's
Right?
you're gonna fall right back if you go cold turkey. So I do make a lot of dishes that are, that are close to some of the things you may eat. Then some are totally far off, like this is all raw, you know. But when people tag me in certain videos, I tend to be like, yeah, no, I totally know how to make that. But then I'm thinking, I do not want to misrepresent veganism and healthy lifestyle, because eating any excess amount of processed food can't be good for us. So it doesn't matter what label we're calling ourselves. So I try to tell people, eat what's grown outside, eat what
Mm,
comes off the tree. Try to incorporate more of that and less of this processed thing, or these flours and the batter and the vegetable and the grease. Even though I can make that, like, we don't have to have that all the time. And so I
mhm,
am trying to push that out for people to, at least while transitioning, to kind of sample and try different things, but don't get stuck there in that space of buying all the processed burgers and all those other things and all these different
mhm.
restaurants that we go to, and you want it being stuck there. Don't do that. Just keep moving. Try to move. Try to continue to. You don't have to have food that tastes like bacon. You don't have to
Right.
have food that tastes like chicken. You can actually move completely away from that, or like I'm doing the air fryer. So I'll let you know
Oh
how.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't
I mean,
know
and
how
and,
it turned
and
out.
and like I mentioned before, I'm having such a wonderful time, like with the smoky stuff, and I continue to evolve. Like I was
Mhm.
using, when I cook, I was using some liquid smoke and that
Uh-huh.
sort of thing. But then I got this grill, and then I found out I got this smoker, and I'm starting to smoke my own veggies
Nice.
and my
Nice.
own tofu, all this other stuff I've been smoking and stuff, and I'm
Ooh,
like, wow, this is amazing.
yes. I
um,
love that.
it's just amazing, and I'm not missing it. And then I'm digging into other cultures like Indian culture
Yeah.
and Puerto Rican culture,
Nice.
and finding out some of their dishes. And I'm like, wow, going to some of these the different types of markets. Like I went to an Indian market, and it just blew my mind.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is a I've never heard of this vegetable before. I've never heard of that vegetable. What is this? What is I'm like, what what is it? And so right now I think I'm doing this Indian thing, like a lot of
Mm,
different Indian flavors, listening to a lot of different Indian chefs. And it's just been an amazing ride. And I'm grilling almost every day because with
mhm.
the smoker, and it's been, I don't know. I just think it's all comes down to discipline. And this will bring it right
Oh,
back around to
yes.
life. Life is nothing but discipline. And a lot of people are like, oh, I can never give up the oil. I said, you can. You just have to work on your discipline.
Yes.
I
Yes.
call it the discipline muscle. If you work on that discipline muscle, because
Yeah.
right now it's weak, you got to build it up. And
Mhm.
I like to use my fasting, my intermittent fasting, as a way to train my discipline muscle.
Mhm.
This way, I can apply discipline to whatever the task is, whatever the life task is. I
Mhm.
can apply discipline to it. Waking up in the morning, I know I have the discipline to not eat for 16 hours. Yeah, I can wake up early, or I can do this because I have built up my discipline muscle. You
Yeah.
know.
So let me just go into that just for 1 second because I've done intermittent fasting, but I've always done it just because um I wanted to go into like a full day or full 2 or 3 days of fasting. So I'll start with
Hmm.
intermittent and then I'll go for a couple days and then I'm back on again. But
Sure.
with your intermittent fasting, how do you handle hearing that breakfast is the most important meal of the day? Because I
Oh, I love this question. Like I don't eat anything until 12 o'clock, and I'm pretty good with that. But today I slipped up and had some chickpeas from last night. I had some
yeah,
chickpeas this morning about at 10 o'clock. I
yeah,
slipped up. Um, but anyway, I love that question. I did a video on my Instagram about this, and people always, and this question is like, well, what about breakfast? I said, no, I do breakfast. I do breakfast every day.
yeah,
But it's just that we don't have a fundamental understanding of what breakfast is.
yes.
Breakfast is just nothing but breaking your fast. So
That's it.
after you sleep for 8 hours, hopefully you get 8 hours, and then you wake up, you eat, you're breaking your fast. I just choose to break my fast at 12 noon.
Mhm.
I it's there is no difference. But
Yeah.
if you can start to see things differently, things will appear differently.
Hmm.
So for me, yeah, I do breakfast. I break my fast at 12 noon. It's just a way of just reordering your thinking, detoxing the way all that toxic stuff that you've been receiving,
Yeah.
not truly understanding. You bring some understanding to what you're trying to do, and it
Mhm.
seems so much easier.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing. Like people will ask you. I think you said it earlier. You said that they are brainwashed, right? So you're brainwashed
Mhm.
into thinking a particular way, and folks will believe that you have to have breakfast, and that's like a huge question, especially for vegans. I don't know why. I mean, and then of course they think that we all eat grass, but I
Right.
don't know why the question always comes up. Yeah, but what do you do for breakfast? I'm thinking,
Well,
well,
that's because you're not eating eggs. So they're like, oh, you don't eat eggs. And so what are you? You're not doing milk and cereal. So what are you?
for me, I'm like, yeah, I just I toss in my bananas and and for me, I make smoothies. I don't juice, but
Mhm.
I do make my smoothies.
I
So I
do
toss in
smoothies too.
all of my apple, and I toss in my kale or my celery and cucumber, and I'll toss in a collard leaf. I mean, I toss all that in. So I'm
Mhm.
like, if I have that in the morning, whatever time that is, that will carry me till that late
Oh,
afternoon, and
absolutely.
then I actually can eat some food if that's what I want. But Yeah, I've never really understood why the question of breakfast is so huge. Well, what do you eat for breakfast? And when do you
Right.
eat breakfast? It's the most important meal of the day. Who told you that?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I always say that we really have to work hard to make sure our thinking doesn't become toxic and we
Yeah,
become robotic and we're just doing what others want us to do
yeah.
opposed to making healthy choices.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's why there's a huge connection to the choices we make in relationships, how
Absolutely.
we
There you
eat,
go.
and the choice we make in the food relationship, how
Yep.
we eat.
Healthy
That
relationships.
discipline that you talk about, because if you lack discipline, and I can only speak for myself, I've been very public about that. When I was in a very abusive relationship, it was very
Mhm.
unhealthy. I didn't have the discipline, I didn't have the drive, I didn't have the determination to leave it. But when I got it and my mind was made up, my feet started walking and I never looked back. And I did the same thing with veganism and the holistic
Yes.
lifestyle. It truly is. It once you build up that brain muscle, you
Yes. There
can
you
do
go.
anything.
Use it. Yeah, you can use it. Use it. I call it the mental muscle. You build that. It's the mental muscle, discipline muscle.
Yes,
Those we have to work on those things.
we have to work
They-
on it.
and it's just like we physically work on our body. We go to the gym, we run,
Mhm,
we work out to get bigger, get stronger.
mhm.
We have to do the same thing with discipline. Treat
Yeah,
it like a muscle. You have to
yeah,
do the same thing with your mental state.
yeah.
You gotta like build it up. You gotta work on it. It's
Yeah.
not easy.
Yes,
It's not
that's right. It's
easy.
not, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, Josh.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not easy, but
No.
it can be done. And I'm walking testimony.
Yes. So tell me, what is the next steps for you with your urban black vegan brand?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? What's your next steps? What are we doing here? Because I know you're in Philly, and I have to
Yes.
see you when I come visit my dad. But what are you
Absolutely.
doing with that?
All right, so it's kind of evolving. So the urban black vegan, I took on that moniker purposely so people can find me, and I've
Mhm.
had some
Yeah.
pretty good success with it. With building a pretty good following on via social media, and
Mhm.
then even here locally. But the goal is to make urban black vegan not just me per se,
Yeah.
but urban black vegan like a brand or a place where
Mhm.
people of color, black people specifically, can
Mhm.
go get information. It's like I'm not going to say it's a school or anything like that. I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. But
Yeah. It's a
within my
tribe. It sounds like a tribe.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
exactly,
Sounds like
more
a
of a
tribe.
tribe.
Yeah.
It's like it's health. It's a state of mind. It's a way to
Mhm.
think. It's a way to approach your life.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm doing that. I'm actually starting a food truck here. Hopefully it'll be done by. We have a food truck in Philly called Flat Belly.
I love
So
it. I love it.
yeah, we're doing that as a way. It's like a teaching mobile truck that'll go out into the community. We'll feed people, but we're also going to teach people
Yeah.
at the same time. So the mission is to take this whole urban black vegan kind of mindset and out and share it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. Get out and share it. My goal is to kind of like activate my activism. Like, what
Mm.
are you doing? What are you doing? If I didn't found this good thing, it is incumbent upon me to get out there and share it. Now,
Yeah.
you got your political activists, you got people marching, we all have our lane.
Mhm.
Mine is going to be culinary activism, getting out here, trying to change lives by changing plates and
Mm.
changing mindset.
Love it.
That's what I'm going to do. While
Yeah.
the other guys are doing their thing, which is good because we need people on all fronts,
Yeah.
I'm going to get out here and take my little food truck and go around and teach and touch and change minds and souls. That's the goal.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. So, are you into community gardening or any of those things?
All of it.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
All of it. To the community, growing my own stuff.
Uh-huh.
I belong to a couple community gardens. I even got like little plot right here at my house,
Nice.
growing my own food. I don't want to just talk the talk. I want to walk the talk. You know what I mean? So when I go, I'm about the life 360, like
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
on 360 degrees, all of it. You
Okay.
know, I don't want to be fake in any way. I don't want to be like, yeah, but you don't do this. But I said I'm not perfect, but I'm making sure to make sure I'm going to touch on all the points so I can be truly authentic when I talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big
Yeah.
responsibility when you decide to get behind a microphone and in front of a camera.
Hmm.
I take that very seriously.
Yeah.
I want to help Black people. I
Yeah.
want to help all people, but we're suffering.
Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
suffering
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you on that one. And it starts with a conversation. It starts with
Yes,
connecting with them. It starts with living out that legacy that you will one day leave behind. It starts
right.
with you being that representative for for
Absolutely,
exactly what you believe in. So I totally
absolutely.
love what you're doing. So I will ask this question: if someone like people that are battling with diabetes and all these
Sure.
other illnesses that one are influenced by the food that we eat, lifestyle that we keep, right? Uh,
Hmm.
what would be your advice to them, or even a testimony that you could leave or share with them?
Right. There's a couple things. I do a lot of well, not since the COVID thing, but I do a lot of teaching in senior communities, specifically Black seniors who are dealing with a just issue. It is heartbreaking,
Yeah.
you know, to see some of our seniors dealing with issues where they wish they knew better.
Wow.
Um, so the first thing I would say is I don't care how old you are.
Hmm.
You can be, if you're 40 or 50, don't think it's too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late to start to do
Hmm.
better.
Hmm.
It is never too late. That's the first thing because I didn't start in my 20s. So it's never too late. And um, if you're going to do this, do it with the intention of try to think broader. I'm
Okay.
not going to tell people step one, do this or that, but just try to think broader. And when I say think broader, I mean, don't think about just yourself,
Yeah.
right? I talk at different barbershops and I'm talking to the guys. I say, hey guys, how many of you guys are fathers? Don't even, I'm not even going to talk about doing it for you. How many of you guys are fathers and have families?
Hmm.
Yes. You all want to take care of your family? Yes. What better way to take care of your family than to take care of yourself so you can take care of your family?
Yeah.
Think about your children. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your daughter that you hopefully you would like to walk down the aisle with
Hmm.
when she gets married. Do it for your son. Do it because you want to be at their graduations. You want
Yeah.
to be able to provide and protect. Take yourself out the equation.
Hmm.
Just do it for them. And you'll do anything for your family. Most
Yeah.
of us will. So think broader. Think about the change that you make, how it can affect the lives of so many others,
Hmm.
the legacy that you can leave behind. The fact that my daughter this year has decided I'm going to start this vegan thing, that is from the 9 years of work that I've put in, of living my lifestyle out loud to the point where she couldn't help but hear it.
Hmm.
Wanted and said, you know what? Maybe my dad got something going on here. Maybe I should let me look at that video again. Let me look at that. Okay. You know, so just be mindful of the change that you make could possibly change lives around you.
Hmm.
And when you think about it like that, because that's how I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I got this huge responsibility.
Yeah.
It motivates me. I said, I'm affecting lives. I'm
Yeah.
changing lives. I'm a true change agent in my community.
Yeah.
Let me keep on pressing forward with this.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say think broader. Think about what you can do to bring change, not only within yourself, your family, and then the broader community, and then hopefully the world.
Okay. I love
I
that.
know it's like pie in the sky optimistic, but I truly believe that.
No, no, no. I'm with you on that. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
also would like to, if if someone is watching, and again, they've a lot of my viewers have heard me on my
Okay.
soapbox, either by being at my house or just hearing me openly share certain things about veganism. But if there is someone that's watching and they do want to transition, they've heard you talk about the mind, they've heard
Sure.
you, share, the overall mission, the overall
Yes.
why. But what if they say, well, how do I? I mean, how do I start now? Now that I'm thinking about it, now that I
Right.
might have watched the movie,
Where do
and
you start?
oh yeah, I've already seen What the Health, and but how do I even go into the kitchen and know what to eat? Maybe just give maybe five staples that you think that would be, something good that people could use and put in their kitchen to even get started.
Sure. Oh, okay. To use. Okay, that's different. To use in their kitchen,
Yeah, I mean,
like kitchen
like
tools
no, no,
or
no, well, no, no,
foods or
just to get started, like with
or.
food, because food is what people want to know about. So,
Okay, okay.
so
I can definitely go there.
just thinking, a simple a person that's transitioning, they may not be as disciplined as you are, but just
Right.
a little starter kit.
Little starter kit. Okay, this is let's start easy.
Okay.
And of course I haven't always been where I'm at.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I haven't always been where I'm at, right? Let's say that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you, make some subtle changes. Don't shock your system. If you're a milk drinker, okay, there's so many options out there. Maybe just let's just change the milk.
Okay.
Just change the milk. All
Okay.
right. And
Yeah.
even if you are and let's try to get some of that dairy out. So we got the milk out.
Yeah.
You know what? These are little simple things, but it's going to start to get you to think. I want you to
Yeah.
start reading labels. So then maybe now let's transfer. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but yes, transfer the water. Get her.
Wait,
And the reason I'm doing this,
one more
it's a
time.
mental thing now.
You
You're
broke up.
starting to think.
Okay, say it one more time for me because you broke up
I
a little.
said it's more mental than anything
Okay.
because now you got the vegan butter, and you're starting to read the label. See,
Okay.
this is going to force you to read a label, which we don't do. It takes discipline to turn it over on the back and read what's on the back of a package before you actually buy it. So I want you to start to look at that milk. Oh, this is compare it to what you was drinking. Like so, milk,
Mm-hmm.
butter. Also, here's a big one: bread.
Ooh, bread.
Bread,
Ooh, bread.
right?
Yeah.
Bread can be troubling,
Ooh,
but maybe.
it's a
But did you
nemesis.
know that sourdough bread is vegan by nature?
Okay.
That
Yeah.
rye bread is vegan by nature.
Mm-hmm.
These are little subtle changes going to get you to read label. You'll start to say, well, why is it two paragraphs of ingredients on the white bread, and there's just a few things on like sourdough bread.
Mm-hmm.
So little things like that, you'll start to kind of like shift the way you think. Along
Uh-huh.
with that, you got to start detoxing the way you think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's absorbing information, documentaries,
Mm-hmm.
lectures, etc.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So the documentaries are very important because they're very
Absolutely.
educational.
Yes.
Excuse me. And sometimes, people don't know where to start, and there's so much on YouTube.
Right.
There's so
Right.
much on YouTube, but getting
Absolutely.
behind one of those documentaries will kind of help to condense some of that information. That's what I think. And then go to YouTube because there's a lot on YouTube.
Right. There's a lot on YouTube, a lot of I'm on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, but before you have to base I like to base what I do on professionals,
Ah,
credentialed
mhm.
professionals. There's research. I follow a guy, his name is Dr. Michael Greger.
Yes, I love
who-
Dr. Greger.
Yes. All based on
Yeah.
scientific nutritional research, and he has the research to prove it. And that's what you need to follow. And if
Yeah.
you kind of continue to absorb these things, he has a nutritionalfacts.org can send you daily updates via
Mhm.
your phone. So now you start to live in this space of health, this healthy
Mhm.
space. And
Mhm.
once you start to gain information, that will lead you to what you need to eat. You will then not look at even vegan butter and different things the same. You're like, oh, wait a minute. You
Right.
mean diabetes, fat is kind of a contributor? Because you are starting to detox.
Yeah.
You're starting to detox and put in healthy information. And now you're like, oh, maybe I won't eat this or maybe I won't eat that. Because now
Yeah.
you're reading labels and it's all about, and then you got to build up that discipline. Try a little intermittent fasting a little bit to try to start
Okay.
to build up that weak discipline muscle.
Hmm. So some intermittent fasting, that I hope those are
Absolutely.
watching. And you can always, Google search what intermittent fasting is about. If you're not
Yes, because that's a whole nother conversation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so you and the other thing, I guess, I will plug this about intermittent fasting. Whenever you do break your fast, be mindful of the food that you're now eating, because sometimes when you break your fast and you don't have a plan or the discipline, then you'll go straight into grabbing all the processed vegan food. So you really have to be
Yes.
careful not to do that as well. But I
Right.
know you can say that probably a lot better than I can, because you
Oh
do.
no, 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 you're right. You're right. And I will say this now for those who, like, even with my daughter and my wife who are like slowly transitioning, so they're doing a lot of the processed vegan box foods. That's
Mhm.
okay. I mean, if that's
Mhm.
the place where you can start, because as you're doing that, you're going to start to gain knowledge, and the more
Yeah.
knowledge you gain, you're going to say, well, maybe I'll try to make my own sausage. You know,
Yeah, yeah, or your own burger.
or your own burger. You're just like,
Yeah,
oh, and then you start to. So it's a combination. So just do it slowly. Don't shock the system
yeah,
because you don't have the discipline yet. You still that mental muscle is kind of weak, and that discipline muscle is still kind of like weak and flabby too. So
yeah,
it all needs to be worked on a little bit. You got to train it up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so what are you gonna have for dinner tonight?
Um, well, now that it's 8 o'clock, it's 8:30 here in Philly, so
Did you
dinner's
look the
done.
window?
That's it. That's it. But it's okay because you know what? The discipline muscle is so strong that I'm good.
Yeah,
Even though
good.
I just missed it, but I'll still pray. I might do I might still do a smoothie, but I'm
Yeah,
not gonna I don't chew anything. I'm not
yeah.
chewing anything after 8 o'clock.
Okay.
But that's why that whole thing with the discipline
Hmm.
is good. That's why I go to barbecues and don't bring anything because the discipline muscle is so strong
Hmm.
that I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, I'm bringing my food because it's normally during the time I need to eat anyway, and I
Okay.
don't want to be
That's a good
sitting
thing.
there. I don't, people constantly saying, "Don't you want to try this?" And or they're straining the meat out of the greens. Please don't do that. I'm good. I got my own little bag here with my food in it.
But don't you think that's a great time for a conversation? Because I know it always sparks conversation. I go to outings or what have you, and I'm like, no, I'm good. And they're like, but why
Yes.
aren't you eating? And then there they go knocking on the door. So I got to answer, and then we get
Ah,
into the whole discussion.
yes. No, I
So
definitely.
for me, it's strategic, and I do it purposely because it leads to these amazing conversations that leave people like really thinking about the choices that they're making.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I definitely get into the conversation as well. Well, but normally, like I said, what happens with me is they're asking, well, why are you eating that quinoa? And what is that? What's in the quinoa?
That's good
And
too.
how do you make quinoa? So it kind of
Hmm.
starts that conversation. And they're like, wow, that look really good. And man, I'm like, oh, it's really simple, really easy. You can eat it cold or hot. So I use that time to show them and talk
Awesome.
to them. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, once you look at some of our delicious dishes, it's difficult for people just to walk past it like, oh, I don't want that, because it's beautiful, it's colorful, it looks delicious, it smells great. Yeah, that's when I start talking about it.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love that strategy too. As long as we're out here doing the good, doing the deed, making sure that we're sharing and
Absolutely.
encouraging, it's all good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So, Joshua, we're about to wrap this up, but I want to make sure that the viewers can find you, they can continue to watch your journey. And with the vision that you have for your food truck, if you have, if you're going to be like collecting, I guess, like a GoFundMe, or if you're going to have anything, because I know this is like a nonprofit, even though it is a business. I mean, you're still
Mhm.
giving back to your community. So I want to make sure that we can follow you, follow your journey, and be able to support you any way that we can. Okay. So
Right.
if you can share that
Right.
with us, that
Right.
would be awesome.
But let me say this. I'm not nonprofit. I'm a for purpose. I like to call it a for purpose
Ah, yes,
business.
yes,
Because we got to make money in order
yeah,
to. I got to make money in order to help the
yeah,
community.
yeah.
So
Okay.
for business. There's no GoFundMe. Everything was straight from the muscle. I
Nice.
worked very hard. No loans, nothing. Everything's owned straight out, and
Nice.
that's another story for another day. But yeah, everything is self-sustainable. I just want to be that example that you can be entrepreneur, be self-sustainable.
Mhm.
Uh, and we can do this without the help or assistance from others.
Yeah.
I'll just
Okay.
leave others, underline others.
Yes.
Um, with that being said, but I can be reached all over the internet. It's just Urban Black Vegan. That'll get you to all my social media outlets, even the urbanblackvegan.com. A lot
Mhm.
of free resources up there for people to grab as well.
Okay. I'm gonna type this up. Black vegan. Hold on.
Urban Black Vegan all over.
Okay, got it. All right. I want to make sure. Hopefully it'll come across at some point. We'll see. There we go. There you go.
Oh, nice.
It's down there.
Yep. I see it.
Yeah.
Yep. And Urban Black Vegan, that's on Twitter,
Okay.
YouTube, Facebook, all over.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I want to again thank you so much for joining me tonight. It has been so enlightening, so energetic. I knew the vibe would be wonderful. I can't wait to come to Philly and hang out. One to see
Yes.
my dad.
Or I'll come to Virginia. Or
Or
maybe I'll come to Virginia.
yeah,
We could do that.
now
Or
you know
DC.
exactly where I am here. Yeah, you got to come down here.
I know who you are. So yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, so we could totally break bread or break sourdough bread together. Um, but yeah, definitely you're
Yes.
welcome to come to visit. And surely when I come up there, things start to kind of get back to a little bit of normalcy. You
Hmm.
guys have so I do love your vegan restaurants up there. I found a few that I absolutely love dropping by, grabbing a couple dishes. There's a couple places that has some raw vegan dishes that I like to go to. I'm not a
Yes.
huge soul food vegan girl. But there are a few restaurants up there that I will stop through and get me a little bit of vegan mac, and I'm like, yes, okay, this is this was delicious.
No, I know. You know, it's funny that I know we're about to wrap this up, but I got to say this about restaurants
Yeah,
because I get people coming to Philly. They not text me, but they reach out. What's the best restaurants? See, and since I don't do oil, I'm
yeah,
not even. I'm like so hardcore with the oil. I'm
yeah,
not even going to your restaurant if I call ahead. Do you have anything that you don't prepare with oil? No, I don't go. So I
yeah.
don't know. I don't really do restaurants like
Okay,
vegan restaurants in Philly. Now, once in a while, I might break down for a special occasion, like when you come to Philly,
yeah,
you break some bread. I might do something that has some oil in it. Like I
yeah,
don't even do mac and cheese because
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I don't mess with the butter, vegan butter you put in the mac and
yeah.
cheese kind of
You, you
thing.
you know I make
So
my own Josh, and I don't even use butter in my noodles.
okay,
Yeah, I don't
okay.
even use I do make my cashew sauce, but I don't, it's interesting because maybe that's I mean, I don't maybe that's why mine isn't like super rich or
Mm,
hearty. It's delicious and I don't use any vegan, but I don't even really use vegan butter either unless I'm making certain baking dishes, but I
got you.
do put it in my mac and cheese and
Okay,
I mean I use some nutritional yeast and things like that, but
I hear you. I'm with
yeah,
that too.
yeah. But
Okay,
there's a spot up there. I can't remember the name, but it's in my phone. And they
okay.
have wonderful raw lasagna. And I've never seen it. I've never even noticed there's been any oil in it. It's just layered. And I think they may use um, maybe like a walnut meat or something like that. Cause I don't know if you do walnut
Nice.
meat.
No,
Because
I do.
you can do the walnut. Yeah,
I
you can do
do.
walnut meat.
I've
You don't
had
need
some
oil.
walnut.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I just don't. I don't just don't use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that'd be great because in Philly we have what was called I call it vegan row. It's like all these black sisters own these vegan restaurants.
Shut up.
Like, no, I'm serious. From one sister has two raw vegan restaurants. This older black woman, she has like she has a vegan vegetarian restaurant. Then there's this other sister that does vegan duck,
Well,
and they're
where is
all on.
that? 'Cause I
It's
might
in
have
like within
gone.
like 2 miles.
Where,
Huh?
what side of town is that on?
It's in the Northwest on Germantown Avenue.
In
It
Germantown.
gets no respect.
Yeah, I might have
It
gone
gets no
there
respect.
before. Wow.
Yep, there's like 4 or 5 black owned by black women,
Ooh,
and actually about 5 of them. Yes, no
wow.
respect. They get no respect. We have vegan week here, vegan restaurant week, and they're never highlighted.
Really?
Don't even get me on that.
I don't know if you've interviewed them, but you're gonna have to go down each one of those spots and interview them and talk to them about their vision, their business,
Yes.
the food. I mean, let me know because I would totally
Oh,
support that
absolutely.
100%.
They're so there's so much work to be done, and
Yes.
just kind of busting this myth that we don't do this. It's
Yeah.
just that a myth. We're
Yeah.
doing it. We're doing it big.
Yes.
So, especially here in Philly, we got a ton of Black-owned vegan restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah,
Lots of them.
the one I go to, the couple that I go to are Black owned as well. So,
Awesome, awesome,
actually,
awesome.
one is more like an alkaline vegan restaurant, and so that's the one that I
Okay.
do more than anything is that one. They just have a delicious raw lasagna, so I always go there.
Okay, well, this is going to be a fun visit. I know DC got a. I don't know. I can't speak for Virginia, but I know DC got some things going on
Yes,
too.
we have
So,
some amazing restaurants in DC that are vegan, that are all
mhm.
vegan. Other ones are vegan friendly, but the ones that are all vegan, they are just the bomb. Yes, we have some really good vegan restaurants here. So yes, you can come
Okay,
here, and I got you. We're gonna go and chow
okay,
down. I'll
we're
make
going to make this
sure.
happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. So listen, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you, viewers, for joining us tonight. You know how to reach Joshua Black, the urban Black vegan out of Philadelphia. Make sure you go check out his social media. Get in contact with him. I'm sure you can send him a message
Mhm.
if you have questions. And watch some of those amazing videos on his IG page. It's really cool. I love seeing him out there bringing veganism to the streets. I absolutely love it. Um, so Joshua, thank you so much again for joining me tonight.
Anytime.
Yes, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So guys, you've watched, you've heard. If you're interested in becoming a vegan or at least sampling into the lifestyle, I mean, just go ahead and take the leap. It starts with your mind and then the food. So just take the leap. It is okay. Trust me, you're going to be fine. You're going to get all your proteins and you're going to survive. We have
Yeah.
survived.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you again.
Yes,
Love
indeed.
you all.
All right. See you.